to my channel. So I'm back with another story time, and hello, my name is Noemi. Just in case if you're new, welcome to my channel. Here I tell all kinds of stories, so if you're into that, please stay and subscribe to my channel. This story is going to be about some neighbors that we had when we were living in those haunted apartments. So I don't want to say like they were crazy neighbors because we did have some confrontations with them, but I don't know. I feel like when I was thinking about this story and like taking notes and going over it, I realized that they're not that crazy, okay? I feel like they were probably thinking that we were the crazy neighbors, and I could see why, like I could see why they could think that, and it's a little embarrassing, but like I do want to tell this story, like it's a good story and definitely lesson learned. Okay, so before we start, I am gonna be drinking throughout my video like usual. Okay, today I am gonna be drinking, I have some champagne today. Okay, so if you want to drink with me or anything you guys want, go get them and let's get started. So like I said, the story is going to be about a confrontation that we had with some neighbors. It's kind of crazy, there's a lot of drama involved, so let's just get started, okay? I am gonna start off by saying this. I don't know if I'm gonna get hate. I hope not, okay? Like, obviously, my intentions are never bad intentions, but I definitely made some decisions that were not smart decisions, okay? So I am gonna start off this video by saying, at this point, when we're living in these apartments, we did have Oreo. I wasn't paying for him monthly. You know that when you're living in apartments, some apartments, not all of them, but some of them do require for you to pay for your dog monthly. Some, I think, like there's yearly, but I did not have that kind of money, girl. I did not have that money to be paying rent and doggy rent. So I did decide to not tell him, okay? I did not tell him that I have a dog. So Oreo was living with us at this point. Another thing I want to mention is that Oreo is not good with kids. He's not good with dogs. And he kind of struggles with new people, some new people he's okay with, some he's not. So I do want to let you know because it is part of the story, okay? Oreo just doesn't get along with dogs or kids, but that doesn't mean that he is gonna bite, okay? Like he is very like all talk. Okay, he's all talk. He's like barking at you and like doing the most. But when it comes down to like actually biting you and like blood, no, he is not that dog, okay? Like for him, it's just all talk. He just likes the drama, okay? Like that's it. Now that we got that out of the way, this story starts off with one day I was in my living room and I was with Oreo and he needed to go to the restroom. So obviously I don't have any like patio, like nothing I could take him out. Like we have to go down the stairs into like outside. And so I was like, okay, I don't want to put a leash on him. Like it's just gonna be really fast. It's gonna pee and then we're gonna go back up, okay? So I took that stupid decision to take Oreo downstairs without a leash, okay? So we go downstairs and he's doing his business and everything's fine until my neighbor, and this is not my direct neighbor, okay? Like she lives around the corner. So this neighbor comes out with her dog and she's walking, she walks around the corner and she's coming towards us at this point. Well, girl, like when Oreo saw her and her dog, he immediately started running towards them and like face to face starts barking at her dog. And I was like, oh, no, like what? The neighbor immediately, like, she kind of stepped back and kind of tried to pull her dog away from my dog. And I didn't think about it. I was like, and I know that Oreo's not gonna bite, so I immediately dived in front of the dogs and I scoop Oreo up. I grab him and I'm holding him. Oreo's over here barking and like doing the most, okay? And I'm over here like, shut up, like, cállate, cállate. And he's like barking and doing the most. And then the neighbor, like, she looks at me and I am not rude, okay? Like, I own to my mistakes. If I did something, like, I am going to say I'm sorry, okay? Like, I own up to my mistakes. I will apologize. So I immediately, like, I told her, I am so sorry. Apologize. I am so sorry that my dog, like, I guess attacked your dog. Like, I'm so sorry. And she kind of looks at me and she's like, well, if you know how he is, why don't you put him on a leash? And I was like, well, the thing is that we're just gonna pee and then go back up. I didn't really think about it that this was gonna happen, so that's I know that it was my mistake. I know that it's my fault and I apologize. I was like, Oreo, he could be a little bit much, but he does not mean any harm. He's not gonna bite you. Like, I know he just all bark, okay? He like that's it. And she kind of looks at me. She's like, okay, just don't let it happen again. And I was just like, completely understandable. I get it. Okay, like, I'm so sorry. And I apologized again, and she left. After that, I was completely breaking out because, like I said at the beginning of this video, we weren't paying for Oreo stay. So I was scared that this lady was gonna go to, like, management and tell them, hey, like, this dog attacked me. So I was really like freaking out, okay? And nothing happened. Nothing happened. Like, she didn't tell management, like, everything was fine. Months passed by and I noticed, like, everything's fine. Like, she didn't say anything, so I felt like I could breathe a little bit. I did say, like, that's it. We're gonna try to stay away as far as we can with these people because, like, I know that if we do something, like, something's going to happen, okay? I was completely right. Because one day I had mentioned that when we were living in these apartments, we did invite our friends, okay? Like, I'm not gonna say it's a party, it was more like a get together. The most people we had there was like, it's like maybe like 5 or 6 people. That's the most we had in our apartment, okay? And so it wasn't a party, but it was like a get together. Our friends were there and I wasn't, okay? At this time, I was working. So I'm gonna tell the story the way I found out, okay? So like I said, I was at work. I was doing my thing and then I was driving back home. So I get to the apartments and I walk in, like, I put the key, I walk in, and it was my boyfriend and his friend that I named him Fez. So we're gonna name him Fez in this story as well. So I see them both, and when I open the door, they immediately, like, they're like, like, they were scared. And I was like, what's going on? Like, what did you guys do? Like, why are you guys all like scared? And they're like, well, we had a crazy night. And I was like, what happened? Like, what did you guys do? Did you guys burn down the apartment? Like, better not. And they're like, well, sit down, like, let us tell you what happened. Okay, so I sit down and they tell me the stories. There was another friend with them. He wasn't there anymore when I got there, but the other friend, I have talked about him as well. I named him Nate, so he's gonna be Nate, okay? They tell me that Nate, and I'm gonna say something, okay, but please don't do this. I do not promote this at all, but this is what happened, okay? It's just a story. Well, Nate really needed to go to the restroom, okay? Like so bad. And Fez was in the restroom. He was using it. So Nate tells my boyfriend, "Hey, I'm gonna go outside and I'm gonna go pee." And my boyfriend's like, "Okay, like, like go ahead." So he goes outside and he starts to pee, right? And at this point, when he is peeing, the neighbor from around the corner comes around and they see everything, okay? And it wasn't just the girl, it was her husband as well, okay? So they see, and they're an older couple, they see Nate peeing on the side of the building. And oh no, like all hell broke loose. Like it was bad because when they saw him, and this is Nate's point of view, okay? They started yelling at him, and especially the guy, and he said like it's so inappropriate. His wife is there, like why is he doing that? That there's restrooms, like he got all upset and he started yelling at Nate. Obviously, Nate knew that this was wrong. He knows that he's not supposed to do this, okay? But obviously, immediately he apologized and said, "I am so sorry. Like I understand that you're upset. I'm sorry. It was just that you're taking so long." And he tried to like tell him what was going on, and he was not having it, okay? He was like, "No. Like this is disrespectful and like no." And then, okay, as Nate was being apologetic, the neighbor tells him, "You know what? I know people from Juarez." And girl, okay, if you're from El Paso, you know that if people tell you, like people from El Paso, if they tell you, like, you better watch out because I know people from Juarez, like, that's a threat, okay? That means va a haber tiros, like, va a haber sangre, like, it's bad. They're basically threatening you, telling you, like, I know people from there, something can happen to you, okay? So, as soon as this neighbor told Nate that, Nate, no, he did not take it. He looks at this man and tells him, "You know what? I know people from Juarez too, so you better watch your back." And girl, like they both started to go back and forth until the neighbor said, "You know what? That's it. I'm calling the police." And Nate was like, "Call him. I don't care. Like, go for it." And finally, like, Nate, like, I guess he had enough that he just stormed off and went to the apartment. Okay, so when he gets there, I'm guessing the neighbors leave. When Nate gets to the apartment, he tells my boyfriend all of that, okay? He tells him the story and he's like, "What?" And so, like, I'm guessing my boyfriend tried to talk to them. I think they left. So I'm not really sure what happened, but Nate had enough that he ended up leaving. Okay, he left. The neighbors, they were gone at this point, and then that's it. Nate left, the neighbors left, and it was just Bess and my boyfriend. Okay, well, I'm gonna say like maybe 15 minutes later, they get a knock, and they're like, like, "Who's there?" Like, I'm pretty sure it's not Noemi because she has the key. And they freaked out. And so, like we on the door, like in hotel rooms, they had like a peephole. Well, we had one of those in our doors. So my boyfriend looks through the hole to the peephole. and he sees two officers, okay, and they're standing there. And he immediately, like, he looks at Fez and he's like, get everything. Like, because they had bottles, they had something that they shouldn't have out. And they had everything out, okay? So literally, they immediately started cleaning up, like, really quick. He practically said, like, fart, like, do something, because it smelled. And they kind of just, like, got everything together. And then finally, my boyfriend opens the door. And it's two officers. And the officers look at him. And he's all like, hey, are you renting this apartment? And then he's like, yeah, like, I am. And he's like, well, we did get a call. And it was like, someone was peeing on the side of the building. And my boyfriend's like, you know what, officer, I'm so sorry, like, that was my friend, and the neighbors saw everything. We did apologize to them. It's not gonna happen again. And the officers, like, they were cool about it. They're like, you know what, like, it's okay, don't worry about it. And then before they left, the officers look at my boyfriend and Fez and tells them, open up a window, it kind of smells in here. And they left, okay? So, like, when they heard that, they're like, oh my god, like, they're freaking out. But the officers left and nothing happened. So I was listening to all of this, okay? And I was like, what? Like, that is crazy. But overall, I was like, you guys are so lucky, okay? Because if, I don't know, if the officers were in a bad mood, like, you guys would have gotten arrested. And then he's like, yeah, like, we know, it's just crazy. And I was like, yeah, like, that's wild. After that, like, surely we left. And so we didn't, have any more confrontations with these neighbors. But it was definitely a lesson learned, okay? Like, no, girl, like, we're not doing that again, okay? And yeah, like, I hope you do enjoy my videos. And I know I said this in my last video, but I do want to remind you guys that I'm gonna have a Halloween special next month, so I hope you guys are excited for that. I am preparing these scary stories and they're really good, okay? So I hope you guys enjoy that. I hope you guys are ready for that. And yeah, thank you so much for watching my videos, and I hope you guys subscribe. I do see that a lot of people are watching my videos but not subscribe. Like, what's going on? Like, please subscribe. I am gonna have more, more and more stories. So like I said, if you guys are into that, please subscribe. It really will help me out. And thank you so much for watching. Bye.